Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Well, I'm happy to say welcome to episode 800. My gosh, I can't believe I've been doing this for that long. I want to thank our sponsors at Warren Henry, Larry, Eric, Ismet, the whole team over there. They finally gave me my car back after they made it rattle-free and perfect. I love them very much. It's so wonderful to be part of the Warren Henry family. I want to thank everybody over there, Gerald, the rest of the team that helped me, Ronaldo, to get my car done. I want to thank them so much. And welcome to episode 800. I should wear a party hat. I should wear a party outfit. I should wear a party tie. But instead, we're just going to have one of my favorite guests. We're going to be on with Bekah Carlson of Carlson Integrated. She's been with us for, probably well more than a decade now, helping me program the show, make the show look good, get the information out about the show, all that good stuff. And so, I want to remind everybody, welcome to the show. We're streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. We're going to be making some modifications in how we notify people about the show moving forward. I want to let you know we're going to drop the notification on my personal LinkedIn page. We're going to keep that strictly business, no more podcasts. So after another couple of weeks, we're going to disappear from the Jim Freed LinkedIn page. We'll have the Freed on Business LinkedIn page, and we'll be focusing most on YouTube promotion. I want to remind you to look for us at Freed on Business or at Jim Freed. And like I said, today's guest is Bekah Carlson of Carlson Integrated. I want to thank our friends at Warren Henry who've been a sponsor for 12, 13 years now. Without them, the show probably wouldn't be on anymore. So I want to thank them so much. They're wonderful. They really treat us like family. Our clients like family, our friends like family. Everybody's treated like family at Warren Henry. Go up to their store on 151st and Biscayne and their other locations. And now, here's our guest, Bekah Carlson. Mr. Mendoza better have applause when you come on. It's just so tremendous. Welcome back to the show, Bekah. How you doing?
Congratulations, your 800th show and your birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday too. Isn't that marvelous? We won't tell anybody how old I am. Suffice to say, I was born in the last generation, in the last century. Boy, it sounds funny to say that. But yeah, since we've been doing the show, I've had nieces and nephews born, grandnieces and grandnephews born. It's really something amazing. I've been able to mentor all kinds of people. Shout out to my latest mentee, Noah Cam. Hey, Noah. How about that? But Bekah, you've been with us, helping us craft and promote the show. And I really would like to get your critique on things that we should do today and things that we should do tomorrow. And some of the things that we've implemented together. Like I said, I don't have my party hat on, but we can suffice it to say that we'll probably have the best party background that anybody's had. I know Mr. Mendoza crafted it up and is going to throw it up. We use this green screen now, so it probably looks great behind us. So, Bekah, what have you been up to? Tell us.
So things have been very busy here at Carlson Integrated, and part of that is preparing for this momentous occasion of 800 episodes. Very, very exciting. And I think the exciting part to me is how Freed on Business is transcending Jim Freed. When we talk about not including it on your personal LinkedIn, the reality is because Freed on Business is its own brand. You have built this beautiful brand over many, many years, starting with the radio show and then pivoting beautifully to the podcast environment, and now to a consistent every week. Everyone tunes in from literally all over the world to see what's going on Freed on Business.
It's really true. And I forget about the pivot. The pivot was, initially driven by the fact that the radio station got sold and went to recorded all Christian broadcast. And then we were doing it from my palatial studio. Personally, we didn't do, we tried it a couple of times on this pirate radio station. It really didn't work out. And then we went to something that Mr. Mendoza suggested that I had never heard of. He goes, "Hey, what about Zoom?" And I go, "Oh, this is great. What's Zoom?" Well, we all know what Zoom is today because the pandemic hit right then. And we pivoted right into a pandemic-related show. And we went from the 1 hour format to a short format so that people would remain interested, because I don't know too many people that have really successful 1 hour podcasts. So, I want to thank you for helping us with a lot of those ideas, and high five to Mr. Mendoza too.
Yay, Regan. Well, it's proliferated on all channels. People can see Freed on Business and listen to Freed on Business everywhere you get your podcasts. So it's no longer tied to a single radio station and a single geography. It's really expanded the reach of Freed on Business to this full international audience. And it's been really exciting to be a part of it.
Yeah, I've noticed that there's people that I know that are professional podcasters and professional brand ambassadors and all this other stuff. I'm a brand ambassador for Warren Henry. In fact, when I was there just the other day, dropping off my car for service, they mentioned how proud they are of me, and they have me basically in the same category as their sports figures as far as a brand ambassador goes. So it's really nice to see that. And we have lots and lots of followers on all the different platforms. It'll be interesting to see how we can grow it now on its own Freed on Business LinkedIn page. And I know Mr. Mendoza has been working with me on growing it on YouTube. I know you've got some ideas that we're going to talk about in the green room after the show also. Tell me a little bit about some of the critiques. I know I don't do everything perfect. What are some of the things we can look forward to in episodes going forward that you would be suggesting to me that other people would adopt for their own podcasts?
So the interesting piece is how social media platforms change and adjust and modify their algorithms over time. And one thing that we're seeing here at the end of 2024 is the external linking being less interesting to those platforms. So sending people off to go look at something makes that post on the algorithm less prioritized. One of the smartest things that you and Regan have done is to live stream and to have this running on each platform and actually built within it versus sending externally to it. And that is going to continue to make a difference and to be a big differentiator for you. So some of the things that you're doing are already best practices, and we're seeing social media platforms follow suit in prioritizing or deprioritizing content based on how it's delivered to them. So well done, and huge kudos to you for that.
Well, it's not really me. It's Mr. Mendoza. I just show up and talk. Mr. Mendoza does all the technical stuff. By the way, if anybody wants to run their own podcast, I suggest they reach out to Mr. Mendoza for the technical part and for you for the branding part. The other thing that I've noticed that's evolved over time is just the social media platforms' existence in their own right. When we started, I was doing the LinkedIn 20 people at a time, having to click each box and notifying them. We've avoided TikTok entirely because that's just not my world. And, we're going to be switching our focus to YouTube, which I think really is more, I don't want to say accretive, but certainly is more developed towards what we're trying to accomplish. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely agree. And there are some generational factors coming into play of which generations are your audience. And those tend to be millennial, Gen X, and boomers tend to be your audience versus like Gen Z. Gen Z digests on TikTok, but the other generations digest video content on YouTube. So we're meeting that piece of targeted, intelligent, and intentional. No one markets for fun. Nobody markets because they like to spend money on marketing and like to waste money. The reality is that marketing has to be intentional, and identifying where your audiences are at and meeting them in those places has always been a huge strength of the Freed on Business show.
I've also found it as not only a brand builder, but a familiarizing thing. I've noticed now that most of my new business phone calls and even my continuing business phone calls are done on Google Meets and Zoom because people, even if they're in their office, like to see when they're talking to you. They got used to it during the pandemic, and a number of them have said that they've watched some of our episodes to get to know me better so that they can prepare for what we're trying to accomplish. So, I think beyond being a brand builder, it's also a personal bridge builder and boundary breaker downer. What do you think?
Absolutely. And I'm a little shy about being on video, quite candidly, But there is a reality that it builds relationship when you can see someone's reaction. And we all know how much that nonverbal communication matters when you're in a conversation with someone and you're not just hearing their voice, but you have that opportunity to see their reactions and see their expressions. And when we do that on video and we do Zoom calls and we do video podcasts, everyone has that opportunity to really get to understand the mannerisms and the tones that come through. So we have that normalized communication pattern, and we have nonverbal. It's really a beautiful gift that the pandemic gave us, which is crazy to say, but it is.
I do business globally now. I talk to people all over the globe. I'm often on. This morning, I talked to London about something in Germany. And later on, I had a communication with somebody in Atlanta about the property we just bought in Augusta, Georgia. Special personal plug, just closed probably $100 million worth of transactions in the last 3 weeks. $65 million construction loan for my friends at the estate companies, and a $42 million hotel sale with the Crown Plaza in Augusta to another one of my clients. So it's really been a wonderful time for me. It's interesting how the real estate and capital markets business always seems to happen in a 2-week period, but that's what happens. But getting back to the point, all of this happens on video calls. And when I'm calling Europe, I must admit I'm James, not Jim, most of the time when I'm talking to Europe, because you don't really meet Chuck and Larry, you meet Lawrence and Charles. When it's the South, I'm Jim or Jimmy. It's fascinating when somebody's known me a long time. It's Jimmy, and people reach out to me all the time. They hit me on LinkedIn. They talk to me, and a lot of times they're referring to the content that we created just a few hours ago. It's really a lot of fun, and we get to project that also. It's a fun, safe space for people to get to know you.
Well, and as the platforms evolve, it's going to be interesting and a challenge for the show to navigate some of the tagging pieces that are now more familiar on social media, with the deprecation of hashtags and the platform stopping that consistent use of hashtags or supporting the hashtag use, and instead relying on AI and algorithms and regular tagging of individuals to get the message out. It's more and more important that consumers of podcast content are actively following. It matters tremendously because we have no control over what gets into their feed. The social platforms do. So as we rise to that challenge of navigating all of the changes in the algorithms of the social media platforms, I want to encourage all of our watchers here today and everyone who has the opportunity to celebrate with us this 800th episode to make sure that you're following Freed on Business on all of the platforms. It really does matter. And it will be the only way to ensure that you're getting all of this great content.
We use hashtags that are AI generated. Mr. Mendoza helps me now generate AI hashtags. And really, I want to actually write down that as a personal note. Say that again, Rebecca, because if I didn't catch it, maybe a lot of other people didn't either. Make sure to tell people to follow. Is that it?
Yes, absolutely. Follow Freed on Business on all of your social media platforms. Make sure that you are actively engaged, because we aren't going to be able to control necessarily that it's just going to show up. If you were following just the hashtag Freed on Business versus the profile Freed on Business, the algorithms are not supporting hashtags like they used to. And you're going to see more of that come out. So LinkedIn was the first one to deprecate them. They've been doing that for about a year and a month, so about 13 months since they started deprecating and pulling hashtags, and therefore reducing and eliminating followership to various hashtags. And Instagram has announced that they're doing that as well.
I really didn't understand what was going on, because about a year ago, like you said, it used to be that LinkedIn would suggest hashtags. Now they don't.
No. And they don't even indicate what someone is following. They removed them from everyone's profiles and moved them way further down on the profiles if they're there at all, if you historically followed hashtags. So there's always this constant change to the algorithm. And as marketers, our job is to keep up with that and to navigate it and to advise our clients in how to navigate that. And tagging is beautiful because Freedom Business, as I said, is this global brand, and it gives us the opportunity to be connected with all of the other global brands out there and to have followers actively connected with this brand and moving it forward into the next 800 episodes.
Larry's in would love to hear about the next 800 episodes. We really enjoy it. We're getting ready to wrap up the segment, Rebecca, and we only do one segment. Then we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back with the bottom line. So please stick with us. Think about what the bottom line is that you want to tell everybody. And we'll be right back with our last word, our big takeaway right after this. Mr. Mendoza, you're a brand too.
Hey, Jim, I just heard that you're celebrating your 800th broadcast. 800. Wow. I guess when you read Building Brand Value, you paid attention to point 7. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Man, they say that consistency is a bugaboo, but I don't think so. Consistency is the way you build your brand and demonstrate value in the hearts and minds of your listeners and your customers and clients. So good for you, 800. Wow, what a number. Congratulations, my friend.
Well, we're here on show 800 today, and I really want to honor our long-running sponsor, Warren Henry. I want to thank Larry for being there. Basically, at this point, you got to say from the beginning, because we've been on for 15 plus years. Probably this is our 16th season, and Larry's been on probably since season 14. We've had other sponsors like the University of Miami Health System, also a global brand. And we want to thank all of the people that have made our show so successful. Especially want to thank Riga Mendoza for helping us change and evolve over time, and folks like Bekah Carlson. But the folks that have really been the backbone of our show all these years is Warren Henry. I want to thank Larry Zinn for his kindness, support, love, making us part of the Warren Henry family. I want to thank Eric Day for his support. He's a technological visionary. I want to thank Ismet Yagzi for always making sure that my family was treated like a part of the Warren Henry family whenever we came in. He's the sales manager. I want to thank Gerald and Ronaldo for taking care of us when we bring in our cars. I want to thank Richard for making sure that our cars always work right. And I really want to thank the rest of the team at Warren Henry. Usually we run down their locations. They were in North Miami. They're in Gainesville. They're in South Miami. They're in Key West. They're in West Broward. They sell all these great name brands. They're leaders in every sector. They've expanded the brands that they carry. It's just a wonderful, wonderful group to be affiliated with. They sell Land Rover, Range Rover, Jaguar, Lincoln, Audi, all these great nameplates. We use all their cars. We work with them, and it's just the most incredible thing to be a part of, because there's one thing that's a constant with them, and that's how they treat people like family. So I'm just going to really give you the tagline. You know all about their wonderful benefits that they provide by being part of the Warren Henry family. But I mean this from the bottom of my heart. They always have the best price, always have the best service, always Warren Henry. Thank you so much for being sponsors of the show now, 800 episodes and going strong. Thank you so much to our friends, our family at Warren Henry.
I got to tell you, I love this show. Jimmy's always been a good friend, and he's got some great guests, very informative. And, it's just it's so well run, and the questions are always great. And, Jimmy and I have a great relationship from years of being in the business together, being on the University of Florida board together. And I just have so much respect for him and his lovely wife, Vivian, and really just enjoy so much being on the show. So look forward to coming back. Maybe I'll come back for 810, 815, 820, whatever it may be. But really love the show. Congratulations on almost 800 episodes. Very, very impressive, Jimmy.
I want to remind everybody that they can contact me, Jim Freed, Sandstone Realty Advisors. I've closed $100 million worth of business in the last couple of weeks. It's really been a tremendous 2024. 2025 is shaping up to be even better. I've got clients, including international banks that I work with, international corporations and high net worth individuals, some of the biggest names in town, and some of the most wonderful families. I was just over at one of my clients' homes for Thanksgiving dinner, where I got big hug and kiss from them. Today, one of my clients told me that they love me, shocked me, and one of the toughest people I know told me that they love me and really appreciate me, that I'm a superstar. I'm projecting that because that's really where it's at. Many, many years ago, we started saying, when you call us, it's always all about you, but actions speak louder than words. And having the type of client list and families that we work with from all across the globe really means the world to me. And I want to thank them all for helping me be successful in business and allowing me to project love and kindness globally through Sandstone Realty Advisors and Freed on Business. Mr. Mendoza, let's bring back Rebecca, and we'll have the last word. There she is, that big smile. Rebecca, you always project such positive energy. It's so wonderful to be affiliated with you and your team of, I'll say it, stay-at-home moms that help people project their image, and the kindness that you project and goodness. It's really part of what makes the people that work with you special, and what makes your message that you help us craft special. We talked a lot about the different changes in algorithms and the different ways to reach people socially. What's the last thing you want to leave with people? Your bottom line.
Never be afraid to grow.
Oh man, that's great.
Never be afraid to grow. Jim, you have grown this amazing platform from 1 episode to 800 episodes.
Yeah, the story goes that somebody said, "You want to be on talk radio?" I go, "You got to be kidding me." And then this was a long time ago. They said, "Let's talk about the condominium crisis." And I said, "Which one of the exploding cigars do you want to talk about now?" That was when they were shutting off cable because people weren't paying their bills and such. One of my clients, actually, it was almost exactly a year ago. It was a year ago, Thanksgiving, said, "We're going to teach you that old dog new tricks." I started working in private equity at that point, and I learned so much from the team that I've been working with in the private equity sector. It's, I still do capital markets, but, most of my transactions this year were capital markets based. I've got a number of interesting things going on next year in the private equity sector. And now we're even working on other portions of expanding my knowledge and horizons. But yes, Rebecca, you nailed it right on the head. Being able to grow and being flexible is the most important thing, not only in business, but in life. And I want to thank you for being so flexible and growing with us. You want to say one last thing before we say goodbye for the show?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jim. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you so much. We won't tell everybody how old I am. They can look on all the social media platforms and figure it out. It's been 800 episodes. I really do want to thank our friends at Warren Henry who've grown and changed with us. There was no online ordering. When Warren Henry started being a sponsor of the show, their business has changed dramatically. I want to thank Larry and Ismet and Eric and Warren and all the people at Warren Henry have been so wonderful. I want to remind all our global followers, if you missed something on today's episode, you can check us out on the replay on any of my social feeds, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, since I'm so forward-looking, Twitch. You can look for us at Jim Fried or at Fried on Business. Head over to the Jim Fried YouTube page, Apple Podcast, Spotify. None of that existed when we started many years ago. Anywhere you listen to your audio, you can pick us up. We started out on radio and now we're streaming. It's really so cool. I want to remind everybody about the Bergstrom Center for Real Estate Studies. They've been with us since the beginning. We mentor many students at the Bergstrom Center, and somebody I started mentoring 17 years ago is the person that generated one of the transactions I closed. And I want to remind everybody about our tagline because it's incredibly, incredibly important. And that's that the person that wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you. God bless America. And happy 800 episodes to Fried on Business. Mr. Mendoza, the rest of the show is yours.